Okay, here we are. Oh, yes, today I'm gonna talk about something totally different that I usually do on my channel. It is the movie The Joker 2, and yeah, that's for the picture in front. But before I go into this, I hope that you can do me the great favor of giving this video a thumbs up and leave a comment and tell me what you think. And of course, subscribe to my channel. You can also go to my Patreon and sign up for $1.15 or whatever you like. Or you can also buy me a coffee now, because there's a link to buy me a coffee. Now, the reason why I wanted to make this video is because it just pisses me off that people like the drinker, the critical drinker, and Snarky J and other people who I usually trust when it comes to movie reviews so totally misses the point about the Joker. Me and my girlfriend were planning to go to the movies and see this because I really look forward to this movie. But because of all of the bad critics, I said, well, we don't bother. We really hate seeing movies that we don't like, because both me and her just feel so incredibly empty afterwards. So we decided not to, but because it was a Saturday and we can just gonna have, you know, enjoy a Saturday night, I downloaded it from torrent in a pretty good version and basically stole it, and we sat down, we had our popcorn and everything, and we didn't even take the sofa and put it out there so we get this view, because it's probably a bad movie anyway. So we just put there and we lay down in the sofa and ate popcorn and stuff, and, you know, watching the movie. So the movie starts and it's beautiful, you know, it looks great, and I thought, okay, well, at least that is good. But as the movie progresses, I just started to think, this is not a bad movie, and when is this bad shit going to happen? When is it going to start to collapse? And it didn't happen. And it goes on and on, and after a while I tell Amalia, you know, do you think this movie is bad? And she says, no, it's great, you know. And I said, yeah, it is. What's the problem? And as we saw through the movie, and we came out of course on the other side, and said, wow, this was a great movie. My girlfriend actually started to it came tears down her eyes, because she was so impressed by is it Phoenix, his name is, you know, the Joker. Just gonna get that right. Joker 2. Yeah, Joaquin Phoenix. The way he changed between, especially in the last of the scenes in the courtroom, when he changes so dramatically from the Joker character, when he goes into the splitting situation, because this is a movie about serious mental health problems, and how he actually changed back again in the last scene, when he just denounced the whole Joker character. Something that of course pisses off people like Snarky J and the drinker and stuff, and all the other people who are slamming this movie, because they kind of what they wanted, and I can't even understand why they are doing it, because also the first movie was about a total breakdown. He was abused, he was bullied, he was just felt like nothing. He had severe BPD, he had other problems, he had psychosis, he had everything, and it just snapped and went over to this alter ego. And I couldn't even back then see how are they going to make this character into the to the Joker type that Hugh Ledger played, which he basically took with him into the grave. You were never going to find a new Joker the way he acted it in Batman. And I can't really see how they could take the character from the first movie and get it over to this hyper-intelligent psychopath that actually basically just enjoyed the thrill of everything, okay? I didn't see it in the first movie. And in this movie, I was looking forward to it. And I thought they might follow up with all the craziness about society and all the things that happened in the first one. And I was actually then surprised that I actually made a movie only about severe mental disorder. And Lady Gaga was playing this woman with a clear, absolutely clear narcissistic personality disorder. If you know about narcissism and covert narcissism and stuff like that, they are basically made psychopaths. They are traumatized in childhood and stuff like that, and they are just creating this persona, and they need this persona to be fed by other people. And that is why she kind of fell in love with the Joker, because he could feed this shared fantasy of them together and all the excitement, all the dopamine, because the narcissist is all about the dopamine, and so is of course the psychopath also. But Joaquin Phoenix is not playing a psychopath. He's playing a person with severe BPD and trauma, which just shifts to another person. The reason why I also like this movie so much is because in childhood I was kind of pushed out and a little bit bullied. And I remember I also had these very extreme violent fantasies. I remember when I saw the first Star Wars movie when I was 10 years old, I was dreaming about finding a Jedi sword. I even started writing in a history where I found this Jedi sword, and I went into this almost... I kind of became Luke Skywalker in a way. And I dreamt about finding this sword and go into the class and chop the head of like 30 or 35% of my fellow classmates, or because I want to kind of take the power back or something. So I have some kind of relations to what he's going through. To this day, if people act like bullies, I could do exactly the same thing like he did in that train. And I would feel good about myself. That is how bad it is when you have been bullied or have been pushed out and stuff like that. When people act like bullies with me, I kind of becomes the Joker, okay? And I understand him so well because I'm a very kind person. I would never hurt anyone. And as I also discussed with my daughter, you know, you can't kill people just because they are assholes. But I can totally empathize with what he's doing in the first movie. People who bully you, people who put you down. At some point, you really want to, you know, yeah, that's what you want to do. Now, the movie itself, it is beautifully shot. I also think Lady Gaga plays a very good role. I think Phoenix is brilliant. He is just amazing, and he should get another Oscar for that character. I think Brendan Gleeson, who plays the prison guard, should also be praised for this side role, because usually when they make movies like that, they are kind of making people one-sided. But this prison guard, with all his malice and all his power-hungry way of being, and the abuse, of course, and probably rape in the end there of Phoenix as the Joker, because he pisses him off so much. He kind of wanted to be kind, but he couldn't really get it to work. So there was a dualism in that role too. When it comes to the music, I don't like musicals at all, okay? Because I think it brings me out of the story. But in this movie, most of the singing was done when he was in a fantasy land. And there's only one scene, I think it was a little bit long, and that was when she was playing the piano and stuff. But it didn't bring me out of the story. Like in usual musicals, they bring me out of the story and it's just annoying. In this one, it functioned so well. Because it kind of pointed out what was fantasy and what was reality. And there wasn't that much singing. Thinking about it, Snarky Jay said there was another singing act every 5th minute. No, there wasn't. There wasn't that much singing. And most of the singing was very short and to the point. So if you are interested in seeing a movie which is about bullying, the consequences of bullying, the consequences of abuse, his mother abused him, the consequence of society, the consequence of horrible entertainment and what we have to do to become famous and stuff, and how people kind of are pushed out if they don't fit in and stuff like that. It's just a perfect movie, you know. It's just a movie you have to see. If you want to see another Joker like Hugh Ledger, it's not a movie for you, because this movie is not the cartoon character movie type of movie. It is, as I say, it is a movie about mental disorder, and the guy who was on his way out of this mental disorder, but was kind of pulled back in of this woman who used his vulnerability, who mapped him like a true narcissist. That is what they do. They come into your life and they love bomb you. They love bomb you, and then they start to chip off. If you don't do it exactly as they like, or you give them too much or too little, they start to chip off on you. And if you don't live up to the expectations, because the narcissist expectations is always up there. It's all about their dopamine. And that is what you see in this movie. At the end, when she leaves him because he has denounced the Joker, he doesn't exist anymore for her. He annihilated the shared fantasy in a way. It's called a shared fantasy. You have to look up things about narcissism and BPD, and I've studied a lot of this because I have experiences myself that, and also things I had things in my life that made me study these things. I also have had a lot of strange traits during my lifetime, and I have learned to become human through, basically honestly going through my own behaviors and stuff. So what can I say? It shouldn't be about me, but the point is that maybe that is why I like this movie so much, because it actually, it resonates with me. It resonates with my hero fantasies and my anger and my I could be capable of murder. There's no doubt about it when it comes to stuff like this. So I can empathize, And I also saw very quickly that this girl was manipulating him to becoming what she wanted. And how little he meant as a real human being. One of the scenes that I think is one of the saddest is actually the sex scene where you just see the disappointment in her face. She can't even almost hide it, and because it didn't live up to this craziness that she was after. And probably she had rich parents, she had good parents, but she had parents who wasn't emotionally there. So she probably turned into a person with narcissistic or covert narcissistic personality disorder. And actually it's basically untreatable, like they say. I don't know how, but that's what they say about it. If you are BPD or just borderline personality disorder, you can actually be fixed because you still have your empathy intact. And that was what brought him back. He still had empathy. He was actually a good person. He never was the Joker. And he never was the Joker in the first movie either. When he finally snapped in that movie, went out into this alter ego wars, that splitting situation, he kind of disappeared. And during the prison, or in that home he was, or whatever we call it, he was kind of brought back and he went into deep depression. He became silent. And when she came in, he got his hope for love back. But then she took this hope and she tried to pull out the evilness because that was the most entertainment. That was the entertainment she was after. All in all, the new music was good. The dancing, the music, the plot, I think the story. They say, oh, nothing happened in this movie. If you say that nothing happened in this movie, I think the problem is you. Okay? Honestly, if you think that nothing happened in this movie, the problem is you. You have a lack of deep introspection, which I guess leads to you not being able to empathize with a character. And yeah, I think I've said everything I have to say about it. The last thing I want to see, go see it. Go see it as a movie, not as a Joker movie, but as a movie about personal tragedy. And you will enjoy this movie so much. Actually, I wondered if maybe me and my girlfriend is going to go to the movies and see it anyway, because I actually, at this point, I feel bad about having kind of stolen it, because it's a great work of art. And I also wondered if I was going to paint some paintings from the kind of scenes from the first movie. And since this got so bad critics, so it almost felt like after Game of Thrones, you know, the ending of Game of Thrones. If the ending there were good, I would have seen it again. But because of the horrible ending, I will never see that series again, because I know how I hate the ending. Luckily, in this movie, I got the lust to paint paintings of this Joker character back again, and that's a good sign. Okay, so I hope this made a little bit of sense. Don't listen to the critics. This movie will rise again over time, like the first Blade Runner movie. It will become a classic. I'm pretty sure this movie will be seen again, maybe even by the Drinker and Snarky J and all these people, in a maybe when some time have passed, and they will realize that they were just totally wrong, because they are totally wrong. So with this, cheers with my coffee, and I'm gonna go back to painting. Maybe I actually make some more of these, shall we say, movie critics and stuff. That could be fun.
Anyway, have a good one. Remember, thumbs up, leave comments, and check out my